So Iran has decided to use its stockpile of missiles and drones, which it has in enormous abundance because it was preparing for this war a long time. Plus, Iran has a very long border with Russia, so that if it ever ran out, Russia would become its supplier. And as we have learned in the Ukraine war, Russia supplies lots of drones and missiles. And who is Russia allied with an immense, long, common border? China. And whatever Russia can't produce, China can, and they can get it right into Iran over land. United States, what can it do about that? Nothing. Unless it wants to go to war with Russia and China, and then the game is over, of course, anyway. So what are you going to do? The Iranians have missiles and drones, endless supplies. So they've been taking out American bases all over the Middle East, and gas and oil facilities also around the Middle East. Those countries are all discovering, there's 8 of them, they're all discovering something. And you've heard their name, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and so on. They're all learning that they made a mistake. They thought the United States could and would defend, prevent them from being attacked. But it's not working. They are not able to ship their oil. They're having more and more trouble getting the oil and gas out of the ground. And even if they do, they can't put it on a ship, and they don't have enough pipelines to handle it. They're screwed. And having an American base, instead of being the protection they were told it would be, it's the opposite. It's the target for Iran, and Iran has very precise missiles and is hitting the targets. Israel thought it had an Iron Dome. Yeah, but the missiles are getting through that too. The costs, astronomical. Bases have to be rebuilt. Facilities to get the oil and gas out of the ground have to be rebuilt. Shipping to handle it has to be reorganized. The costs here are huge and are projected to take years, if we even have that, to solve. The war is not to be counted in costs of billions. It's going to be counted like the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq have now already been accounted for in the trillions of dollars. Mr. Trump asked the Europeans to help clear the Strait of Hormuz. You know what the Europeans gave him in return? Nothing. Led by Germany. Britain waffles. France, after the elections on Sunday, the 22nd of March, in which the leader there, Mr. Macron, came in last of the 3 major political forces, left, right, and center. By the way, that's how it ended. The left did the best, the right did less well, and Mr. Macron in the center, least well of all. They're not going to help the United States. Spain earlier opted out. Ireland said, no way. The Netherlands isn't going to do anything, and the rest of them can't. So, the United States all on its own, carrying the cost, taking the risks, and for what? Even the people gung-ho for this war are increasingly divided over whether the U.S. is fighting for Israel or for itself in this contest. For the Iranians, it probably doesn't matter much. They know who their enemy is. And they have the advantage of having been on the wrong side of American aggression for a long time. All the way back to 1953, 3/4 of a century ago, the United States, the CIA, and MI6 of England overthrew the popularly elected government of Mossadegh. And for the last 75 years, we have been, except maybe if you want to call it during the dictatorship of the Shah, we have been on the enemy list of Iran and vice versa. They've learned their lesson. They've prepared very well. In Europe, it's a joke that the United States uses $1 million missiles to take out the missile decoys that Iranians planted all over their country because they knew Americans couldn't tell using electronics which was a decoy and which was real. So we blow away the decoys and the real ones do the real damage. This war, whatever you think of it, is an economic disaster which alone should have prevented it from ever happening. I hope you found this discussion interesting and valuable. That's why we make them. And as always, I look forward to speaking with you again.
Sure. So, Mr. Secretary, you've talked a lot about winning. You've talked about winning in your testimony today. You've talked about winning throughout the Iran war, and we all like winning. But I think the American people deserve a definition of what it means to win in Iran, because this war has dragged out for a lot longer than certainly the President of the United States indicated. Indeed, the President said on March 24th, and I'm quoting, "We've won this war. This war has been won." Do you know what the President meant by that back in March?
Well, Senator, I would just note that militarily, I mean, Iran has been completely overmatched and crushed from the beginning, militarily. Their capabilities are nowhere near ours. I would take issue with your characterization that we started this war. Iran started this war 47 years ago, and they've killed thousands of Americans, including our brothers on the battlefield in Iraq. Iran has been targeting us for a long time.
Mr. Secretary,
we didn't start it, they did.
Let me just